Okay. So usually, I think it started. Usually when I teach, before talking, before giving a lecture, I want people to have some experience that they already got some taste in their mouth, so to speak, of what the practice is about. Because obviously the path of meditation or yogic path is about practice and first-hand experience. Not second-hand experience, but first-hand experience. Unfortunately, there are also yogic gurus and teachers who only talk a lot about second-hand experience. But in case if I talk about my own stuff all the time and about my opinions, you would leave disappointed. So first-hand experience is always the most important with spiritual practice, mind training, yogic practice. So I was thinking that have you three in the back, have you read any of my texts or visited the Open Heart website? How about a little bit? Yeah?
I've read the sort of introduction that Carl wrote.
Yeah, good. Okay. So let's do a variation of the introductory practice of Tibetan heart yoga. Let's do a variation of that. In the internet there is a version of, there are 4 techniques in the introduction, which are like sitting down, relaxing, releasing tensions and noticing the open space which opens up in our mind when we relax the body really thoroughly. So that's the first technique. The second one is a fountain visualization. The third one is a mantra, Guru mantra of Machiklatran. And the fourth one is open-eyed meditation. So let's do a variation of this practice, kind of trying already aspects of what you're going to learn tomorrow when we start practicing the actual Tibetan Heart Yoga Level 1. And so we will try in this session, after settling down and asking a blessing from Machiklatran and receiving it, we will do some so-called cutting through practice by shouting out loud Vam mantra, like really shouting out loud. So so that's a wonderful. Obviously tomorrow on the course you will get an initiation for the practice and for the mantra, like a tantric initiation, which is a very common thing in tantric traditions. Students are initiated into these specific mantras which correlate to meditative deities like Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and Dharma protectors. So, but we can do this cutting through practice with the shouting technique even without the initiation, and it still works because it's so powerful. It cuts through. When we shout ah bam, it's kind of a very I have a perfect Finnish word for it, but I don't know in English. It's like a very comprehensive thing. So it really cuts through all the stuff we have in our thinking mind, in our emotions, like as an emotional energy, and whatever we might have in our subconscious mind, like some energetic happenings that we are not even aware of. So this this theme of cutting through these layers of mind that ordinarily work in our everyday life. You know, every one of you know that there are thoughts flying in the mind, sometimes less, sometimes more, sometimes a lot. and there are different emotional reactions and all kinds of stuff happening in the mind. So that's the field that we cut through of to do what? To be able to recognize the open mind space that is open, alive, loving, kind, selfless, perfect as it is already. So it's because of this chatter in the mind and different emotional reactions, subconscious, subtle energy that we are not even aware of, because we are not able to be in this naturally open, already perfect, already pervasive, spacious mind all the time. And that's what I wasn't supposed to talk this long, but so that's what any type of yoga is supposed to do, you know, cut through this mind stuff to the open, spacious mind, open awareness, so that it can be lived, it can be embodied and lived. But we do these practices, and we, you know, this open awareness is already there. We don't have to do anything to that. But because of this mind and this reactivity that we have in our mind and subconscious mind is the reason why we have to practice and get it all sorted out, hopefully in a short period of time, for the open awareness, spacious mind to be continuous all the time, to have a conscious experience, consciously openly aware all the time. So that's the thing what we do with any kind of practice. But it varies what the practices are, what the techniques are, and what different methods use. So in the open heart method and in Tibetan heart yoga, we use a whole bunch of different kinds of techniques in a compact form, in a compact practice program to get the most benefit out of it, in order to make fast progress with practice, which translates as our state of being becoming more and more clear, open, naturally open, accepting, accumulatively. So that's what we do. Sometimes I think I've been in this situation before, that I'm saying that let's do the practice, and then I start talking, and then 25 minutes later or 45 minutes later I figure that, oh, it's time to leave already. It doesn't happen often, but sometimes. So let's go to practice. Yeah. So you can take a good sitting posture. You can have your legs in any way you want, as long as it's like steady, firm, and relaxed position. That's good. And if you feel like changing your posture at any time, please do. There's no need to try to. You don't have to. What's the word? Suffer. You don't have to suffer. Yeah. So if there's legs go numb or something, just change the posture or adjust the posture. So it doesn't matter if your hands are on the knees or in the lap. If you want to have, everything is fine in that sense. You can close your eyes gently. And just become aware of your physical body, the space inside the skin. And as you become aware of your body, feeling the body space, feeling the space inside the skin, allow the body to relax. Just let the body soften, become soft. As you allow this relaxation to start, you notice that there's kind of a sense of release of some subtle energy, subtle sensations. And you can feel this physically as well. It's kind of when you open up like a Coca-Cola or some soft drink, when you pop it up, there's this coming out of it. So it's kind of the same thing, release of this useless energy. So feel your body space. You can scan through your body, the head area, neck and throat, the torso and the limbs. And when these tensions are released, when a tension is released, notice what is revealed from the place of that tension. What is found from the place of released tension? There's an open spot, an open space, an area of open space, what reveals itself. Notice that, notify it, and then continue releasing other tensions, wherever you find them. Just thoroughly, consciously going through the body. And always, what's most important is always to consciously notice the open space. As you keep doing this for 2-3 minutes, these small areas of open space, they connect to each other, and a larger open space reveals itself. That's the open awareness, open, spacious mind, without thought, without emotion, without stress, without self, without me. So these small locations of open space, they automatically connect to each other. When that starts happening, be aware of that. Know it. We don't try to meditate somehow. We don't try to go into some special state of mind or state of being, but rather to know, to find this open, clear, alive spaciousness. That's it. It's not really a meditative state. It's just open mind. Not shut mind with thoughts, emotions, reactions, or self, me. It's just openness and clear. Can you already find it? Does it reveal itself as you release the tensions? Continue for a moment. Releasing tensions, noticing spacious mind. So what happens here is that we are relaxing the physical body, right? But it affects our mental and emotional state as well. So it's kind of interesting how the physical body and the abstract mind of thoughts and emotions, how they connect to each other. And when we relax the physical body, mental and emotional bodies become released, relaxed, and this open spaciousness reveals, our natural awareness reveals. Okay. Before going to shouting of Avam mantras, I will ask a blessing of the main master of the open heart method and Tibetan heart yoga, who is a very famous Tibetan lady master called Machi Klapra, who lived in her physical body about 1000 years ago. Dear Machi, I ask for your blessings for us, for each of us, for our spiritual paths, accumulation of spiritual understanding firsthand, for the liberation and benefit of all beings. Please shower us with your blessings. Now see how it feels, what happens in your own body-mind state. Even though Machi is not physically present here, the mind and the awareness of a spiritual master such as Machi is present everywhere, and we just have to make a connection to that, as we now did with a simple prayer, request of a blessing. So you relax into the blessing of a master, again with your physical body, like you relax into a warm bath. Master's blessing always feels like this very gentle, warm, pleasant sensation which calms your being, your body being, calms your mind. It feels wonderful. And again, your own mind becomes more clear, because you spend a moment in the company of a real master, a living Buddha. So use 1 or 2 minutes for receiving this blessing in your own body, with your own body. You don't have to seek outside your body. You don't have to try to get it somehow or catch it somehow. You just relax with your body and it automatically comes. It's not like if somebody throws you a ball and you have to catch it. It's not like that. You just relax to it. As you relax and enjoy the warmth and light of the sun on a summer day at the beach. Same thing. Again, whole body, from head to toes to fingers, torso, limbs, everything. Okay, and then as there is in Tibetan heart yoga practice since level 1, we do the shouting practice with cutting through, with shouting, with vam syllables. So vam is written like like the first letter in the alphabet, and vam is V-A-M, vam. Very simple, 2 syllables, and vam. And we will do 3 series altogether. 1 series lasts for maybe 2 minutes, and we will have short breaks during the series. I will guide you through. And the way we shout is we really shout out loud. Use our voice, use our bodies, use our muscle, use our focus when shouting these syllables. So you can actually, when you shout vam, you actually use your physical body or physical muscles to do it. But we do it in an open way. Not our eyebrows shouldn't be grumpy and we shouldn't be angry. We are kind of open all the time and opening up with this use of strong voice. Enjoying it, doing it in a supportive manner, not breaking anything. Not doing it aggressively. But still we have this focus, this sharpness, kind of percussive, rhythmic way of shouting these syllables. So with each series, I will begin by shouting the avam letters 4 times, which means 8 syllables altogether, before you join me. And then we continue together until the bell rings. Okay, enjoy the ride, folks. So I will do the first 8 ones. Vam, 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 bum, 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 bum. Relax. Just relax for a moment, not doing anything. See if there's already a change happening in your mind. Maybe thoughts are less. Maybe you already feel after the first series that it actually is becoming clearer. Noticing how you feel. Is the open space still there? Yes, it is. Okay, let's do a second series in the same way. I will begin first 8 syllables, then together. Vam, 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 Again, relax and notice how you feel. And notice open, spacious mind. This open space. Let's continue to the last third series in a little bit faster tempo, really as if punching with the syllables. I will begin and then together. Vam, 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 bum, 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 Again, relax. Completely relax your body. Notice how your state of being feels, seems now. Are there any thoughts? Is there any emotions that you feel? Is your mind distracted or present? Really letting your physical body relax into this spacious awareness, open awareness, natural awareness. When you still have your eyes closed, lift your eyes up. If you're looking down behind closed eyes, lift them up as you were looking straight forward on a horizontal level, on the eye level. You're not doing anything special with your eyes, you just lift them up to horizontal level, as if you were looking straight ahead. See how this lifting of the eyes affects how the open mind space, how they connect to each other. The physical eyes and the space in the head with the spaciousness. Now that your eyes are lifted up, but your eyelids are still closed, open your eyelids and continue the same thing with open eyes for a minute or two. Not looking at anything specific in front of you, just having the eyes open and sensing this spaciousness with open eyes. It's the same thing it was with closed eyes as with open eyes. And just resting in that. You can blink if it happens naturally. Your mouth can be gently closed or slightly open, but breathing through the nose. So this open-eyed practice is called Ati meditation or Ati yoga, which means something like primordial state of awareness. It's just this clarity of mind, clarity of perception, while being aware of it. And just resting. Not thinking about anything, not doing or trying or intending to do anything. Not focusing on anything, just open. It can be difficult or challenging, hard, even after cutting through practice. But what makes a difference is to recognize this clear, spacious mind even for a couple of seconds at a time. Then just recognize it again and again and again whenever necessary until it becomes sustained. Okay, close your eyes. Feel your body, relax your body. Thank you, Machikakam, for your blessings. May this practice bring benefit to all living beings everywhere, no one excluded. Bring your palms together, and as a sign of sincerity and honesty, make a simple bow. Okay. Okay. How do you feel? It's okay to have negative feelings as well. Was it strange shouting? A little bit, yeah.
I think for the first time you said punching.
Yeah.
And that was a good metaphor.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
last one really.
Yeah.
It did it a couple of times, but not really to that.
Yeah. 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 This using very powerful voice or shouting as a mind training or spiritual meditative tool is actually quite widely used. They do it in Tibet, or not anymore in the geographical Tibet, but in Tibetan Buddhism, in several schools, and they do it in Zen Buddhism in Japan, and nowadays all over the world in Zen Buddhism to some extent, and also in Japanese Shintoism, Shinto religion, which is like a native religion of Japan. That's where they do it most systematically, like there are whole methods of shouting in Japan. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's normal to, if it feels weird for the first few times. I've done it for so long, so to me it's of course natural. And martial arts. In martial arts they shout a lot, right? In Japanese martial arts, and they do it for this, to do this, have this open awareness where when they can react naturally and move naturally, not be taken by fear or something, not having second doubts but acting. So then it's done widely. Okay. So about open heart practice method. Perhaps I should describe the main parts or main areas of the method, which can be easily categorized as awakening and mind purification of the mind. And Tibetan heart yoga is a mind purification practice. Maybe you have heard a term of karmic purification or purification of karma. That's what is meant with mind purification. It means that human being, simply explained, human being has three different bodies. Physical one, obviously, and energetic one, which means like mental, emotional and subconscious mind. It means all the mental actions, like thinking, associated mind, associating from thought to another thought, thinking about thoughts, feeling emotions, or the subconscious mind, which means that there is this energy, these stored mental, emotional patterns where these emotions and thoughts come up from. It's kind of a storage, like a storeroom where all these emotions and thoughts come up. So that's the second one. Physical body, energetic body, meaning mind and subconscious mind, and this open awareness, knowing awareness. So these three. You can also say consciousness. Consciousness and awareness, these words in English language, they are kind of used to mean the same thing. So these three. So mind purification with Tibetan heart yoga or with any other similar tantric yoga practice, it means, in practice it means usually by using mantras like Ahvam mantra, or doing breathing practices, pranayama, or visualizations, doing these practices in the energy body. And energy body, you have heard of chakras, energy centers, and energy channels called nadis. So it is actually done in chakras and nadis, centers and channels, where this purification of mind happens. So in Tibetan heart yoga we have three levels. The first level is this weekend here in Tromsø. Was it okay? Tromsø? Yeah. And so ever since the level 1 students begin this purification of chakras and energy channels in order to make their mind less conditioned. You know, the way how the mind works is that it's conditioned to act or work. It's conditioned, right? It reacts. It is reactive. So it's not natural. It's just reacting, having reactions, not really being creative or constructive. So what mind purification, what it actually means is that usually people are, when there arises a thought in the mind, one identifies, attaches to the thought. So you can have, for example, a memory, for example, of your neighbor. Maybe you have had an argument with your neighbor or a friend or something like this. This memory comes up, and mind, you attach to it, and you start thinking about it more and have the emotion with it, like emotion of irritation or anger or frustration or whatever. So somehow it comes up, it is identified with, and from there it associates to another thought, to another thought. There are emotional reactions along the way, and this is how it usually works, right? It's conditioned to this kind of reactive action. It's not fresh, it's not creative and constructive. This is, it means that the mind is programmed in this way, and we have not programmed it with a purpose. It just has happened. So what mind purification actually means is that when you do the practice in a long run, speaking of months and years, your mind becomes all the time more open and clear. So the energy body that I mentioned, it becomes less conditioned, so that the open awareness can reveal itself all the time. It can be said that with mind purification, the open awareness body, this conscious body, replaces the energy body. Replaces the spaciousness, this creative space, openness, lovingness, kindness, supportiveness, friendliness, like being connected. It replaces the conditioned, limited mind. And it doesn't mean that we could not think at all or have emotions. It's just that our thoughts and emotions become transformed with the practice. We still think, we can still feel. Obviously, we don't become mummies or zombies. But there's a transformation, and a deep transformation. So tantric practice like Tibetan heart yoga is meant for this. And it's not, when speaking about, Carl, could you open the door? I think the air is getting stuck. Thanks. So when speaking of mind purification, it's like it has a definite end to it. It's not a vague, you don't have to do it for the rest of your life. It's and this is something that me as the main teacher of Open Heart Method have really wanted to make clear, that there are definite stages to spiritual path or mind training path. It's not just this vague thing where you keep practicing without knowing why you're practicing or where it takes you. So in Tibetan Heart Yoga we have 3 levels that anyone can learn and practice clarify their mind, transform their mind, and at some point you will or can get the whole mind purified, so that no conditioned thinking or conditioned emotional reactions come up anymore. It's possible. Believe it or not. Don't believe it. Try it. Yeah, so so it's a definite process. Mind purification. The other thing that I mentioned is awakening. Awakening. I could also use a term of enlightenment, but enlightenment, like awakening, also, in fact, they have very various different kinds of meanings. When I say enlightenment, maybe, or awakening, maybe you remember some Eckhart Tolle book or a video or something that you read or heard about awakening. But again, in open heart method, it's a very specific thing. It's not a vague or random thing. And what awakening actually is, and I refer to this matter in the practice that we did a moment ago, briefly. I didn't want to take it like into a specific focus, but we have this sense of me-ness, me, I, this sense of subject, right, in our life. And we refer to ourselves as me or I or ye in was it and ye? Yeah. In Norwegian, we refer to ourselves as me or I in our everyday life, right? When we say, I am happy, I am angry, I am here, I'm going there, I think that this, I don't think so. We constantly refer to this I or me. So by doing so along our lives, us all being adults, we have done it for decades, right? Older people have done it even for a longer time. But somehow we become conditioned by this I thought. Conditioned, we come to believe that there really is this I or me somewhere here in this body. We believe that this subject entity is there. But when we begin to investigate it, if this, what this I is, where it can be found, and if it can be found, what it actually is. If we investigate it, if like a scientist, I always compare it to a scientist who uses a microscope and studies these small organisms under microscope. So if in a similar way we start to investigate, think, feel, try to find where is this I, what is this I that I'm referring to all the time, we can make a couple of key observations. First, we can only find it as a thought. It's only a thought in our mind, just like any other thought. But just like you experienced, there is this thoughtless open spaciousness that is all the time there. All these thoughts come and go, including the I thought of me being an entity, but it also comes and goes. It's not permanent, solid, all the time there. So in everyday life, all people actually experience this I thought when they are reacting to something or doing something, but when they are done reactive or thinking or doing, this I disappears. It happens in minds of all people, in here and in there, in the street, in Tromsö as well, every day. The I is there in one moment, and in the second moment it's not there anymore. But because we don't have any teachings, we don't have a culture for cultivating this, for understanding this. That's why we don't know about this thing in the West. So when we start studying this sense of me-ness, I-ness, we can make few key observations. It comes and goes, and it can be only found when there is a thought in the mind. When there is no thought in the mind, there is also no self, me or I. So the formula, the so-called two-part formula for awakening that we use in Open Heart, it studies these two modes. One, the I-less, the open awareness, where there is no I, no self, and second mode, which is I-based thought, the I thought. And by studying these two modes, one after the other, or whether done in daily life or as a separate practice, anyone can come to so-called awakening. And what awakening means in the Open Heart teachings, as in most Buddhist meditation traditions, is that the illusory power of this I thought, it disappears. You don't believe it anymore. You don't think that this I thought, this I-ness, me-ness, is something concretic, real, solid anymore. So the illusory power disappears. Sort of like when a magician makes a magic trick, at first you're looking, wow, there's some real magic there when he does something. I don't know what a magician could do. I don't know one magic trick. But at first you believe it. There's some magic there, something mystical, something illusory. You believe it. But when the magician shows you how he does the trick, then you know, okay, there's no illusion there anymore. It's exactly the same thing with awakening. And this term awakening or enlightenment, it has kind of a used up tone to it, but we're talking about like an actual shift in our perception, like a change in our mind. So what happens with awakening is very significant, because usually in our everyday life, among our family, with our friends, with people, we have these reactions, right? Whether kind of positive or whether negative reactions, we react to people with this, based on this I thought or me thought. But when it disappears, then if we have an argument, for example, or a conflict with someone, there is no longer this I to react to it. So it changes dramatically in our everyday lives when this awakening happens, because the I is not there to react anymore. But of course, even the reason why we have awakening and mind purification is because these two are connected, actually. So this subject self, me, I, is connected to all these thoughts and emotions that come from the subconscious mind. They are connected. So even for an awakened person, there can still be strong emotions or stress happening. But this also, even when, if you're awakened, even when stress comes up or strong emotions come up in different situations in life, they are felt different. Because again, there is no I to react to it. There's only the emotion comes up, but there's no one to identify with it. Are you following me? Yeah, so I usually use the terms the subject self, me, I, and object selves when speaking about mind purification. Objects meaning that they are this mind content, mental and emotional content that comes up from the subconscious. But like I said, mind purification is possible to finish it, start it, practice, and finish it in a few years usually, and then it's possible to awaken as well. I have done about 60 so-called guidance to awakening, about 60 cases of people, all kinds of people, young, old, who have meditation practice history and people who don't. Some have had like a professional meditation background. So with this two-part formula, it's definitely possible to awaken, and it's not random. Yeah. I think I covered quite a bit of awakening and mind purification there. Yeah.
I'm wondering about what you say about the I, like and the me. But what about, and maybe this is not in conflict with it, but what about like we're born with a certain nature, like someone is very curious and someone is introvert and someone is extrovert. And is that like in the physical of the three, like you said there, or is that, because that I would say that is a individual thing, but
personality.
Personality, yeah.
You're speaking of personality?
Yeah. So where is this in these three?
Oh, that's energy body, the mind.
Okay.
Yeah, but I just want to mention about it that even when a person awakens or finishes or advances in mind purification, you still remain the same personality. You still laugh about the same jokes and stuff like that. So you don't become like a blank fool. No.
Yeah, I'm not afraid that
would
happen.
I just wanted to say it because
I'm just because it's still some individuality inside these. Like it seems like a freedom to get rid of the idea of I and to be like a collective awareness, but we're still people that have our own.
Right. So this is the.
Quality.
Yeah. So we speak about two perspectives. One is the absolute or ultimate perspective, like the open awareness. There's nobody there, there's no doing there, there's no action there of any kind. So it's kind of this absolute nature, this knowing awareness that we have, it's kind of, it's alive, but it's just the absolute nature. But it can be embodied through this body. through this personality, through this person. Right? Like I said, that the energy body, the mind, can be substituted with open awareness. That's what I'm talking about. We can embody with practice, whether this practice or some other practice, it's the same thing. We can embody this open awareness, which is alive, available to everyone, sane for everyone, loving, kind, compassionate, all the good things, right? So it can be embodied and lived through this physical instrument. Right? Yeah. So it's really simple, and this, there are, as you probably know, there are practice methods where you start to do concentration practices, like following the breath or counting the breath, or if you have some physical item on the floor and you start doing concentration practices. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, so we don't do that because we kind of use focus and concentration like we did when shouting the mantric syllables. There's focus there, but we don't do this concentration practice in this manner that for hours and hours we follow the breath, for example. We kind of skip it and go directly to this open awareness because that's the natural state. Ati yoga. Ati means primordial, like original, already perfect. So we always go to this open awareness, open spacious mind as soon as possible. But because mind is so conditioned to thinking, these emotions, this self, we need some tools to cut through that. So that's why we do Tibetan heart yoga, to purify the mind. Very simple. And there are no, all of our practitioners, there are maybe 60 practitioners of Tibetan heart yoga. Most of them are in Finland. I'm from Helsinki, Finland, by the way. Did I mention it already? Or did you know it? I don't know. So most of them are in Finland, spread over the country, and then we have maybe 10 students in Europe, in Australia, Canada, in different countries. But all of them are normal people who have families and jobs and debts to pay, rents to pay, and stuff like this, with kids. I have a family, 2 kids and a wife, and 2 cats, big cats. And so this method is designed purposefully by Machik Labdran, who is our main master, and few other masters, for normal householders like we are. So it's not meant for monastics like monks and nuns who live in temples. It's meant for householders, lay people. Yeah.
May I say something?
Yes.
Yeah. I took the guidance, and first, I was really scared because I was thinking, maybe I'm not spiritual enough, maybe, and actually, for me it went very smoothly, and there has been really a shift, and I really recommend to anyone who wants to get lighter in some ways, as you said, it's like removing a stone from a shoe,
Yeah.
and I really recommend.
Yeah.
It's really accessible for anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, during the last 2 years there has been, 63 or 64 people who got awakened by using this formula. But anyway, I was talking about what?
Little cats.
Cats, yeah, and the householder, yeah. I was talking about daily practice. So, Tibetan heart yoga is a practice that you do from half an hour to an hour every day. That you purify these chakra centers and nadis with and transform your mind little by little. But you don't have to wait for the effect of the practice for a month or a long time. You can feel it instantly when you practice it. Just like you felt some effect when we did the practice together a moment ago, right? There was some effect, there was some change. So, and with the open heart method, there are no prohibitions. You don't have to live in celibacy. You can drink alcohol if you want, and you can do whatever you want in your life. Just hopefully respecting the laws of society and not hurting others, at least intentionally, along the way. But there are no rules, there are no prohibitions. So it's just about practice and deepening, continuing practice, and again and again recognizing this. Open awareness. It can be, like I said, it can be just a few seconds in the beginning, this recognition, until a thought comes and creates a distraction. But little by little, when this mind purification advances, this natural knowing awareness, it gets sustained naturally. It sticks, it stays longer and longer. 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, hour, 5 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours, 18 hours, 20 hours, 24 hours. How about that? Oh yeah, maybe I should say something about, I mentioned tantric yoga. Tibetan heart yoga is a tantric practice. So what is tantra, what it means? Usually, at least in the Finnish media, when the word tantra is used, it refers to something sexual. Is it the same thing in Norway? Yeah. I suppose it's a common thing. So, in Tibetan heart yoga, there are no sexual elements at any point. It's what tantra traditionally means. It means transformation with practice, just like I explained. Tantra literally, maybe it means something like weaving. Weaving. Do you understand it? Weaving means that in the old times, ladies, mothers and grannies, they did weaving, making carpets and making clothes with thread. So weaving is, weaving, so it means like making something. So that's the meaning of tantra, the traditional meaning. It has no connection with sexual actions. Although it, of course, tantric practice, it also, sexuality is part of us as human beings, and also sexual sensations, right? So so this is not. This is also included in tantric practice, but it has nothing to do with like the actual sex act. It's not included in the practice. So that's what I wanted to clarify. We will not be partying naked this weekend. Sorry to disappoint you, but we won't be doing that. What else?
You also said something about the shaking.
Oh, Rushen. Yeah,
Rushen.
Rushen. Yeah. Rushen, I might as well use the word shaking, like physical shaking, is a supplementary practice. Tibetan heart yoga is the main practice, which you practice in a sitting posture, eyes closed, and Ati meditation, eyes open. But Rushen shaking practice, it's a supplementary practice that you use to release tensions from the body more effectively. And actually, when we do the shaking, it could be something like this. When I give my body, allow it to start releasing tensions by shaking or trembling, it starts. It's an automatic inbuilt mechanism, stress release mechanism. So we release these tensions shaking physically or trembling or whatever. It can be in many different forms, lying down, standing up, sitting, only in limbs, only in the body, in the face, in the legs, in the whole body, in different positions. And you can change the position while doing it. But it's also a very effective way to release stresses, traumas, all kinds of mind content. And we will do it this weekend as a supplementary practice. Tomorrow I think we will do it in the afternoon when we have studied, gone through all the techniques of level 1 and Tibetan Heart Yoga level 1 and have the initiation in the morning. So in the afternoon we will have time for Rushen and also Sunday afternoon. So it's a supplementary practice. Yeah. And actually Rushen, how we learn to do it, is to, connect with this mechanism of natural stress release, which we then can do in different yoga postures, if you want. You can do it in taking different yoga positions, asanas, and apply it into asanas. My wife is a specialist in this, but we have 2 small kids at home, so I think she will be taking a year or 2 more just tending the kids, but eventually she will return teaching as well. But that's what Rushen is. Rushen is a Tibetan word which means separating, distinguishing. And it means distinguishing the stressed or biased, eye-based mind from open awareness. In other words, distinguishing samsara from nirvana. Those are the traditional terms. Anything else? Maybe I should say something, or should I? How many people are coming tomorrow? How many have registered? There should be
2 more.
2 more. Okay, so
And
maybe.
a third.
Okay, so maybe I won't say anything about the initiation because I have to say it again tomorrow. But initiation or empowerment empowerments are done in all tantric traditions, including this one. So tomorrow morning, the first thing we will do is an initiation or an empowerment. Also, like a transmission, the word transmission in English is used. So it's an initiation to this mantra, to this tradition, where with the help of a teacher, you will get a little bit like a boost and initiation into your practice. Very simple thing. But more about that tomorrow. I think that's about it. Or maybe I should say about the nature of usually in the old traditions of the East, speaking about one's experiences, spiritual experiences, or meditation or attainments is not encouraged, right? You might have come across this earlier. So traditionally, practitioners don't openly speak about what they experience or what they have attained. But we do the opposite way, and there are also others in the world. There is this movement of so-called pragmatic Dharma. In the US mostly, most of them are Americans, and all over the world, of people who do the opposite way, speaking openly about what we experience, what we think, what we might doubt, about anything that is concerned with our lives and our practices, or not lives, but our practices. Meaning that we don't have taboos. Everything, all questions are allowed. So if you haven't, or if it came as a shock, me talking about awakening and these things, I completely understand it, because for many years I also practiced in old traditions where this open communication is not really encouraged. And when you ask about what awakening is, in old traditions they might slap you or laugh at you or tell you to piss off. So, but I think that the time of secrecy and not being open about these things, it's long past. It doesn't help to keep the secrets just for a small number of people. It doesn't help the world society. Not much change is happening that way. And after all, spiritual practices and mind training methods are mainly responsible that people of the world are content and happy, right? Because we are, as spiritual or mind training teachers, we are kind of have the, or I feel that the job for a teacher like myself is to share with people what I know for sure that works, right? But like I said, myself, I used for thousands and thousands of practice hours and years, a lot of money and effort in old traditions, where for some reason or the other there is not much benefit. So I've studied with several dozen teachers over the years, and what I wanted to make sure, and what I've been asked to do by Maciek Labron and other masters, is that teach openly and explain everything that you know. No taboos, no secrets. And it's working well. Open communication. And no hierarchy. No guru student or teacher student, nothing like this. Communication. Sharing. Being open. So I think that's a good moment to stop. It's already, this is finish time, right? I thought it's already 8:30, but it's 7:30, right? So let's do a small meditation to finish, just a few minutes. So sit in a good position, spine straight, and let's just relax for a few minutes. And resting in open spacious mind, not trying to meditate, just sitting and being aware. Lift your eyes, looking straight ahead, and open your eyes. Okay. So thank you. See you tomorrow at about 8:45. So we'll begin at 9 o'clock. Thanks.